Alright, so I know that the title of the video is mad salacious. Like, what are you talking about? Demoniacal Fit stole or copied a render. I'm gonna put the render up on the screen so y'all can see them by side. But basically, the original render was by a gentleman by the name of the Replicant 2.0 on Instagram. Now, if you disagree with the everything shown in this video, don't go harassing that gentleman. He seems to be a very nice gentleman. Leave him alone. Um, if you want to have discourse, have it in the comment section, because that's what this video is mainly going to be about. It's going to be discussing this topic and a kind of a larger issue too. Not issue, but I guess you could call it issue. But moving forward, do did Demoniacal Fit steal the render from him or copy the render and put it on a 3.0 body? Honestly, if I'm just eyeballing it, that's kind of what it looks like. Now, am I saying for sure that's what it is? Am I telling y'all to believe that? No. I'm going to present some things that the Replicant 2.0 said, and y'all could judge for yourselves. Of course, Demoniacal Fit, I don't think is going to say anything about this. And from what I can tell, they haven't said anything about this as of the recording of this video, unless I'm completely missing out on something. But moving forward with the conversation, I will say, at the very least, the app area looks suspiciously similar. And that's I would say, a rather, I'm not, for lack of a better term, unique app cut to just come up with. Why not just use the same app cut that was on the Ultimate Gohan if you're going to do the whole 3.0 thing? That's what makes it suspicious. And, y'all can see the two pictures side by side. Of course, the Replicant 2.0's version uses the 2.0 body, and this is using 3.0 body. But with that being said, me just putting those pictures side by side, I want y'all to pay attention to what I just want to go through what the Replicant 2.0 said. And funny enough, I recorded this whole video, and the whole time I was calling him the recipient 2.0. And so I had to re-record this whole thing. But it's better because I could make my thoughts more concise. So China made what I was afraid of. This is screenshots from his Instagram story. They copied most of my master lines of my project. As you can see, as been showing, his version is a lot more stocky. It's more akin, I would say, to the Cell Saga art style. So we're gonna move forward again. I sent my prototype to a Chinese factory about 9 months ago. Due to numerous bureaucratic problems, we suffered innumerable delays that caused him to lose strength. I just wanted to fulfill a dream and offer the community a decent figure of my favorite character. What I think hurts the most is that they will not offer the proportions and height that this character deserves and simply applied the 3.0 to the scope with minor changes. Well, I can understand why they did that, because they're not going to come up with a brand new, they're not going to use that sculpt because it's not the 3.0 sculpt. It's not the most up-to-date sculpt. So, of course, they're not going to use it. And if they just going to copy, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. Let me finish going through the Insta stories that I screenshotted. He said, this also drives us to improve the existing figure, I guess he means. I don't want a Goku disguised as Gohan. That's the only thing I disagree with what he said. This is kind of irrelevant to the main issue, which is the copying. But Goku and Gohan have the same build most of the time anyway. So it's just dependent on the art style. Like, even in a Cell Saga, Goku would have been more built like this. Like his future Gohan, because it's a Cell Saga art style. Goku and Gohan pretty much had the same build. That's why they use the same sculpts. So me and my friend Vile Toys, we will change the production and location system to avoid things like these. Okay. So somehow I have felt the collector community. I wanted to offer something different, faithful to the manga, and at a price that anyone could afford. It seems that we will have to wait a little longer, improve the existing, and go one step further. I think there's one more thing. We all know that Mirai Gohan uses slim fit clothes and was creepily rickety. So he's looking a little rough. But either way, just I don't think if you do see this video, I don't think you should feel like you failed to collect the community at all. At all. You don't owe the collector community anything. If something like this happens that's outside of your power, it's only so much you can do about it. You can only kind of like just take that hit and keep it pushing. Now, the larger discussion that I wanted to have is, I've seen even my guy Cyrus, he was really upset about this. I've seen more than just him upset about it, and I have a different. I'm trying to be objective in this situation. It is messed up that they, from what I can tell, I'm inclined to believe that they did copy his design and put it onto the 3.0. But I will offer these three things, a couple things. One, it's all future Gohan, so they only gonna look but so much different. Two, and I think that's kind of irrelevant. But two, the main point. Let's consider this. If you feel that it was wrong for Demoniacal Fit to take his unique design, then you would also have to apply this logic with Tamashii Nations. Demoniacal Fit goes out of their way and they'll copy a larger company. And I think that's why people may not feel as strongly about it as in this situation. Because in this situation, Demoniacal Fit is copying the little guy. Somebody that doesn't have a lot of clout or notoriety. Maybe they might have a little bit relative, to some of us. But relative to somebody like Tamashii Nations or Bandai, they don't have that level of clout. So I say that to say this. Not once again, doesn't make it right. But if they're gonna steal from a large corporation, business, whatever you want to call it, of course they're gonna steal from the little guy or copy the little guy. It only makes sense. And that's assuming that that's what happened. Now I'm saying assuming because I'm trying to make it so y'all are not, what you calling it? Y'all are not. I'm not trying to force what I think happened onto y'all. Is basically what I'm trying to say. I want y'all. I just want to present y'all what, what was said, what he said. I want to present y'all with the pictures, and y'all come to your own conclusion. Like I said, don't go and harass this guy if you feel strongly about Demoniacal Fit. Leave him alone or whatnot. Keep the discourse here because I know some people can get very passionate about the figures. And even with all that being said, this is like we're closing out. But I felt conflicted about making this video because I'm not trying to be the action figure TMZ, if you know what that is. I'm not trying to be look at this scandal that happened. Oh, wow. I did this video because I thought it would make an interesting discussion, specifically with the part of it all being third party. Technically, none of these, companies should be doing this. Technically speaking, especially if you're upset about this. They technically shouldn't be taking Tamashi's designs and articulation and sculpts and using them. That's technically wrong. They don't have the license to sell Dragon Ball products. Now, why Tamashii hasn't shut them down, that's a whole discussion in itself. I don't even have a proper answer for that. I have my own conspiracies that have no evidence to it. Like Tamashii potentially getting a little cut of what they get. But that's unsubstantiated. There's no real, There's no real evidence to prove that. But, with that being said, like I said, for the last time, if you're upset about this, then you have to be upset about them taking from Tamashii. I think, and if you're not, then it's a little bit hypocritical. Not trying to call anybody out, of course, but I think, I'm just trying to be objective. That's all. I think because they're a larger company that we don't think as poorly of it because it's like, oh, they got it to spare. So what if they take a little bit from Tamashii? Because they do use this, like I said, they do use their sculpts. They might do repaint and add a couple of accessories, but it's rarely that they're doing any type of, even a little minor retooling, they're not rarely ever really doing. They just capitalize off of crowds 9 times out of 10. That, and I'm speaking specifically with the Demoniacal. They capitalize off of crowds that missed out on certain event exclusive figures, and they copy the molds and whatnot, and they sell it to us at a reasonable price. So I say all that to say, in closing, third party is the wild wild west. It doesn't make it right that they potentially copied his design and used it, and plan to use it. If that's even if this figure sees the light of day, honestly. But it doesn't make it right that they took it. But at the same time, it is the wild wild west and third party. Technically, the only people that have a right to complain about a design being stolen is Tamashii Nations, and that's because they have the license to actually make these figures. Everybody else is technically doing it illegally. Technically, and Tamashii has a right to shut them down. They can't. If Tamashii felt like petty at any point in time, they could come and shut Kong Studios down, Demoniacal Fit, Thompson Art Toys, DL Customs, whoever you want to name. They could come and shut it all down. But for whatever reason, they haven't. I'm grateful that they haven't, because it allows us to get certain things that we would never get with Tamashii. We would never got Super Saiyan 5 Goku. We would never get Super Saiyan Blue 3 Goku or Vegito, you know? So I'm grateful in that aspect. But with all that being said, I think I've said my piece. Let me know what you guys think of the whole situation. Do you even think that it was copied? I think it was. I think that's a very rather unique ab cut to just come up with, two people to come up with, especially one that's clearly on an older body. But with all that being said, I'm sorry that happened to the Replicant 2.0. But yeah, with all that being said, check out my most recent review if you haven't already. And peace out.